Who as a human being you are. Okay? So either way you look at it, whatever you study, whether you study Bible, whether you study Vedanta, ultimately it will give you the same knowledge. And in the Indian theosophy, I studied and studied and studied, and then eventually it goes down to 4 Mahavakyas. They call the 4 Maha means the great sentences. So all that knowledge, Vedanta means, Ved means knowledge and Anta means the end of knowledge. When we're talking about Vedanta, it's the end of knowledge. There is nothing more to learn. So when you go down to the depth of the knowledge, the 4 Mahavakya, Maha means great and Vakya means sentence. So there are 4 sentences which are considered to be the greatest sentences in the Indian theosophy, whichever way you want to look at it. And one of them is, I think I'll put it in the back of my book, is Tat Tvam Asi, which means that you are that, or Aham Brahmasmi, that I am Brahman. And the third one is, Brahma Satya Jagan Mithya, means Brahman, the universe is the truth, and whatever that the world that we are living is just a Maya, it's an illusion. When we talk about the illusion, it's basically the same thing that we are talking about the quantum science, because when quantum science says,
So, I'm probably going on it. So when you show the 8 limbs of yoga, how do you see, so that's Raja Yoga, how do you see like Bhakti Yoga and Jnana Yoga and Karma Yoga fit in? Because one of the...
ultimately there is only 4 yogas. Any other yoga is, just a derivative, or it's a marketing pen basically. Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga,
Karma Yoga.
Karma Yoga and Raja Yoga. Raja Yoga is considered as the king of yoga, which incidentally is my name as well, and I started marketing it, but then I realized there was too pompous. So I thought let me keep it a little bit more humble. So those are the only 4, either way you go at it, either you are doing by knowledge. If you are Jnana Yoga, if you are studying and studying and studying, ultimately you're going to come to the only 4 Mahavakyas. The end result is always going to be the same, whether you study quantum science or whether you study the Vedanta. The end result, the self-realization, what we talk about enlightenment, is always going to be the same, because either you look at religion or you look at science. Those are the only 2 ways that we get knowledge, science or religion. And science and religion are 2 sides of the same coin. And the coin is all about self-realization. So whether you are looking at, even for example, Einstein, he also talked the same thing, that the reality is an illusion, persistent one, but it's still an illusion. And my father used to talk about, I think I've written this in my book, Bhagwan teri maya kahin dhoop kahin shaya. It's like everything is just a maya. The word maya means illusion. So for example, when you go surfing, in fact I stopped by today and I saw a bunch of people surfing there, right? You feel the waves, you see the waves, you can actually ride the waves. But in reality there is no waves, it's just energy. So if you try to capture the wave, it turns into water. It's an element that has taken form of a wave. Okay? It's the same thing, our mind creates the perception that something is there, but in reality it's not there. If you follow the latest thing, is what we're talking about in the quantum science world, is everything is a projection of your subconscious mind. So if you look at the subjective reality, everybody that is here is my projection. Nothing there, right? But it is, no matter how you think, it's going to be in a different way, because your reality is a different reality than what I am creating. So it's a different way of, but ultimately you are creating your own reality. Then there is, of course, the collective consciousness comes into play, and then the karma comes into play. So all those things are there. Now, the way I have come to feel or understand this is, have a word called Shan Vangu. In fact, we are talking about it. So Shan means the moment. And you split that moment. Within that moment is your real life. Because your life is from moment to moment to moment. Everything continuously changes, right? So that moment, within that moment, while we are conversing and while you and me are lost into this, all these people don't exist to us. It's just me and you conversing, right? So that is the moment. As long as you are lost into something, that is the life that we are living, that we are creating. That's the way the consciousness, we see it in the consciousness. So, am I?
Yeah, because I've been studying a little bit of Buddhism also, and, you sort of, Hi, my name's Mike, and I just attended the lecture by Raja. Found it very informative and thought-provoking, and enjoyed the conversation after.